Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday, 6 p.m. live stream. So as I did last week, I'm going to start 5 minutes early, just to get some of the basics over with. And as people sign in, we'll get started. So I'll quickly go over the agenda. This is a 30-minute live stream. And the first 10 minutes, I'll go over our latest properties. Then the second 10 minutes, I'll cover some of the latest things I've been thinking about. So that includes any blog posts I posted, as well as any Gokce knowledge videos, and then also tell you what I'm researching for next week so you know what to look out for. And then the last 10 minutes will be devoted to the main event, our vacation giveaway. And throughout the whole live stream, if anyone who has joined has any questions, please just put them in the chat and I'll respond when I have a chance. So now, the first thing I want to do is cover just a little bit about who I am for anyone who is not familiar with me or my company. My name is Erica and I have a company called Gokce Capital. We buy and sell vacant land. You can find our website at gokcecapital.com. So if you are interested in selling land, you can go to our website, click Get My Cash Offer. If you're interested in buying land, on our website, there is a Buy Land in the top menu button. Go there, you'll see all of our listings. On our listing page, there is a map with, hi everyone who's joining, by the way. There is a map with pins of all of our available properties. So you can zoom into the map if there's a particular area you're interested in. And if you click on any of the pins, you will see an available button here that'll take you to the property's main listing page. There's also a table below the map that gives you a little more information on every property. But we don't just buy and sell land. We also try to put out information that we think would be very useful to land buyers, since it's usually topics that I've had to research myself, either because of one of the deals I've done or because I came across it through any number of methods as part of being a real estate company. So all of our information is in the form of either blog posts or YouTube videos. And you can find our blogs on our main website by clicking More and then clicking Blog. You probably, since you're here on YouTube, know my YouTube channel already, but you can just search Gokce Capital in YouTube. You'll see all the videos. A lot of the videos are videos of the properties I've posted. And I should note that all of the properties that I post are properties that my company owns. I'm not actually a real estate agent. So just FYI, if anyone is looking for a real estate agent, I can't help you market your property. I occasionally sometimes get asked that, so I want to throw that out there. But we also do have our Gokce Knowledge videos where we cover a whole variety of topics that could be useful if you are a landowner, seller, or buyer. And on top of that, we do have a few courses as well, a land due diligence program, a land investing program, and then a course covering 31 things that could help you sell more properties. And finally, I have a book, Land Investing Mistakes, 11 True Stories You Need to Know, which includes a comprehensive due diligence checklist. So wanted to get all of those resources out there. And again, hello everyone who's joined. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Okay, so for the first 10 minutes, I'll just go over some of our latest properties. And of course, again, as I mentioned before, feel free to ask questions as I'm going along. I will occasionally stop to answer any questions you may have. So one property I posted last week was an Iron County property. Iron County is in Utah. This is the pin here on the map. It's close to the border with Nevada and also close to the border with Arizona. So this is part of desert Utah. It is almost 5 acres, so 4.54 to be exact. And I'll pull up the main listing page so we can see more information here. So on all of our listing pages, we do give you a map with the approximate boundary lines embedded so you can see what the parcel looks like and also the surrounding context. Oh, Jessica, good point. It is Mother's Day. So for all of you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. I hope you're being pampered today. But to go back to this property, especially if you're looking to get a property for your mother on Mother's Day, we are, again, this is more in a desert location, although you can see from satellite images that there's actually a fair amount of farming activity going on here. You can see all of this over here. I will note, though, that Iron County is one of the counties in Utah that's closed to water rights. So that means you can't apply for new water rights. You have to purchase existing water rights if you want to drill a well. So that's important to know when you're purchasing in Iron County. We assume that this property doesn't come with water rights. You can always confirm that with a title search. You can also call the Utah Division of Water Resources for more information on where you may go to buy water rights. And if you don't know anything about water rights and want a primer on it, you can go to our blog and just search water rights. We have a few blog posts on water rights that could be helpful. So a little aside there. Now, to buy the property, we have a very simple process. There's a buy and hold button on our main listing page. Simply click that. This is the same for all of our properties. And you can either hold it by clicking hold. It's $25 for 2 days, and you can hold a property for up to 8 days. And you can also just go ahead and buy it. I'll also note that with all of our properties, we do offer both the cash discount price, but we also offer owner financing as a way to make properties a little more affordable. All of our properties have a $1 down requirement. There's also no application or credit check, so it's very easy to get financing. If you wanted to buy, you'd simply, again, click that buy button and then select the property and then select owner financing if you wanted to use owner financing. So it would be $1 down plus the $2.99 document fee, and then for this particular property, it would be $2.99 per month for 58 months. Again, no credit check, and there's also no prepayment penalty, so you can always pay off the loan at any time. No fee there. You would just still pay the owner financing price. I'll also note that when you buy a property, we're giving out a complimentary vacation voucher, like we're doing on this live stream as well, for a limited time. But just a little more about this property. So if you're not familiar with Iron County, the largest city in the area is Cedar City. It's known as Festival City. There are a number of festivals there, including the Utah Shakespeare Festival. So it's a small town. I believe the current population is around 35,000, but I could be wrong on that. But it's a small town that kind of packs above its weight in terms of culture. Cedar City's over here. Cedar City is right in the mountains. So there's a Bryan's Head ski resort nearby, as well as a ton of federal land, Cedar Breaks National Monument. And it does have access via a dirt road. According to our research, all of these roads are legally platted roads, but we do suggest that you confirm with the county. And the lot is zoned residential, which allows for single-family homes and double-wide mobile homes, according to our research, but not long-term RV use. Again, though, you can give the Iron County Building or Planning Department a call to confirm all of their rules and regulations. Hi, Buck. Well, let me know if any new properties catch your eye. I'm happy to discuss them with you. Always happy to try and help someone find their perfect property. So the second property that I posted this past week is a 5-acre lot in Socorro County. This is in the Tierra Grande subdivision. I post a lot of properties here. I love working in Tierra Grande. I will note up front, Tierra Grande is an HOA. I know many of you aren't thrilled with the idea of an HOA, but I really like Tierra Grande just because this particular area, for a little history, if you haven't seen any of my videos on the Tierra Grande properties, this whole area, you can see from the map here, we are in kind of the southern desert grazing lands just south of Albuquerque. And in the 1960s and 70s, there were a lot of subdivisions created in this area by a large real estate company, Horizon Corporation. They subdivided the properties, but they didn't create any infrastructure. In some cases, they didn't even really create roads. And they sold the parcels mainly to out-of-state buyers, but on all of their marketing materials, they made it sound like you were buying in an up-and-coming suburban community. So a lot of out-of-state buyers bought these parcels thinking they were ready to build suburban lots when they were still more or less undeveloped desert grazing land without any infrastructure nearby. So almost all of the subdivisions more or less failed in the sense that there was very little development. Tierra Grande was the one exception. It's not exactly a suburb, as you can see from satellite images, but there are a number of homes here. I believe about 150 families live within the subdivision. And that is because a bunch of the property owners came together. They created the Improvement Association, and the Improvement Association eventually created workable roads. They brought out electric lines. They, a few years ago, created a fire station. They brought out phone service as well. So they made sure that the basics were there for people to build, and that's why people have been able to build here. And I can say that the HOA is very responsive. We like working with them. But you should know, like as with any HOA, there are some CCRs and covenants associated with the properties. So all the properties are zoned residential. In this case, it would be stick-built residential only, no mobile homes or RVs. And you do need to build at least 2,000 square feet. That includes unheated space, though. I believe that they're somewhat lenient, though, in terms of alternative building materials. I had heard that someone did an earthship out here in Tierra Grande. And last time I talked to the administrator, hopefully she won't get mad at me for intimating this, but she'd said they actually kind of like people to experiment with sustainable building techniques and new building styles. So my understanding is that they will work with you if you have some kind of sustainable building, more alternative building material that you want to use, but you do need to have the size. It needs to meet the size requirement. You're also allowed to keep 2 horses for every 5 acres. So this lot you'd be allowed 2 horses. You're not allowed other farm animals, although of course you can have cats and dogs. But, I find this HOA to be very helpful. And this is in this particular location, I think an HOA is really necessary just for the benefit of the property owners. I'll also note that the Improvement Association owns and maintains 14,000 acres of open space that are for use only by property owners within Tierra Grande. So that's another benefit that they provide. Anyway, this particular property is priced at this moment at $3,999. That's the cash discount price. Of course, Giselle, he said, no, HOA. Well, yeah, I know. Many of you, even after I say Tierra Grande is wonderful, have no interest in HOAs. I completely understand. It's, not for everyone, certainly. But we do offer owner financing on this property as well. It is, of course, $1 down plus the $299 document fee and $199 per month for 30 months. Again, no prepayment penalty and no credit check, and same process. You can click buy or hold and then click buy in order to purchase the property. And so that is it for our latest properties. We are now at 6:10. So I'm going to go over some of the blogs I posted this past week. I actually posted a number of them. So I'll try to get through these quickly because almost all of them I think are pretty interesting. So let me go down. I did do a few zoning type blogs, which I always like to do because coming from the development industry, I do find that in some areas, certainly zoning can be very complicated. And even as a real estate professional, I found, well, I was in New York City, which is perhaps one of the most complicated cities to build in terms of their zoning ordinance. But I found that even with a experience in real estate, it could be tricky to figure out what was actually going on in the zoning code. So I like to do these blog posts on various aspects of zoning to try and, for anyone who's really new to real estate but who wants to build their own home, give you a little bit of a primer so that you know what to expect if you are in an area that has a zoning ordinance. Of course, there are actually regions in the US that don't have zoning. We have a couple properties in Tennessee that don't have zoning. But a lot of them do. Fortunately, many more rural areas have very simple zoning ordinances, but if you get an infill lot or you're in a city, you're going to need to dive into the zoning code a little more. So anyway, I did a blog post on a zoning variance, which is a really important topic. Again, it's very technical, but, well, it's not that technical, but it's more of a technical blog post, but it's a very important topic because especially if you're buying raw land in order to build on, you'll likely find that many of the parcels that are out there and that haven't been developed because there's something that's a little bit off about them. Maybe they're a little too small. So I found one thing that happens a lot with vacant land is the zoning code changes. And sometimes when the zoning code changes, the jurisdiction will grandfather in existing parcels so long as they were subdivided correctly. But sometimes they don't. They say if you haven't yet built, you're not going to be grandfathered in. So if our new zoning code says that you need, say, a minimum of 2 acres to build on, and your existing lot is only 1.5 acres, you would be out of luck, so to speak. You wouldn't comply with the new zoning ordinance. You're not grandfathered in, so you couldn't get a building permit. Fortunately, most jurisdictions do have a process where you can apply for a variance. So essentially that would be where you say, okay, I have this lot. I do believe that it would be feasible to build on it, but it doesn't comply with zoning in one way. This is not a way for you to change. Usually you can't change the allowable uses. So if you wanted to build like a dollar store on a lot that's zoned residential, this typically isn't a process you could use. But if, say, again, you're in that situation where you have a parcel of vacant land, the zoning ordinance changes and now your parcel's too small, but you want to make the case, well, this parcel's been around for many, many years. There were other parcels in the area that were built on that were the same size, and they were grandfathered in because they were already built on. I think I can make a case that I should be able to build on this lot as well. This would be the process, one of the process you could use to make that case to the city or county. And basically it's just the way that landowners can ask for variances on one aspect of the zoning ordinance. So a setback, size, again, any of these. It's up to the jurisdiction's discretion. So just because you apply for a variance doesn't mean you'll get it. Some areas are more strict than others. I've talked to some jurisdictions where they are basically like, well, as long as it generally makes sense, we'll go ahead and approve it. Others are very strict and they basically won't approve it unless they really feel like they have to. Very much depends on the jurisdiction. The more it seems to make sense from just an intuitive outside standpoint, the more likely in general it is that it'll pass. But it's an important tool to know that you have. Almost every jurisdiction will have some process where you can request a variance. So if you ever find yourself in that situation where you have a parcel of vacant land and you find out it can't be built on because it doesn't comply with one aspect of the zoning ordinance, this is a tool you can use. Just remember, it's really, it's generally, you're getting a variance on one aspect. This isn't a way for you to take a lot that is in no way in compliance and put it into compliance. I'm just going to take a second and look at some of the comments here. And thank you, Buck. I should say, don't forget to like this video. And so that's that. There's also a blog post on Florida area ratio. I took up a lot of time on variance, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but this is one of those ratios that you're going to see a lot in zoning ordinances. It's basically saying that any construction, there's a certain percentage of a lot that has to remain open. And what is meant by open is going to vary a little bit from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but usually it means no improvements, no structures. Sometimes it means you can put a driveway on, but sometimes it means no improvements at all. It essentially has to be green. So, just that's something to keep in mind. There's going to be a limit to how much of the lot you can take up with your house or building. And you'll want to look for that in the zoning ordinance. Another important blog post, this is a basic item, but if you're new to real estate, you should take a look at it. This is on purchase and sale agreements. These are one of the basic contracts you almost always sign whenever you buy real estate. So it's important to understand what it is and understand what you should be looking for in the purchase and sale agreement. Most of the time, these are actually template documents. The realtors associations have templates that almost every realtor will use, especially in the residential space. But with vacant land, you may find that there's a little more variability. Often sellers, especially if they are real estate companies like mine, will have their own template documents that are a little bit different from what you may find with a realtor. So it's important to understand what you should be looking for in a purchase and sale agreement. I did do a blog post on soil tilth. I like to do blog posts on soil and what you should look out for when it comes to soil, how you can improve your soil, because I know a lot of you are buying land not just to build on, but to farm on or homestead on. And soil is probably, if you're looking to farm or homestead, is probably the key thing, one of the most important things you need to understand about the property to ensure that it works for you if you want to farm or grow crops. So soil tilth is one aspect of soil health that you would want to understand so that you can analyze it when you're looking for properties. And I will say that this week I will likely post 2 more blog posts, I believe, maybe 1. But let's say over the next 10 days, I'll post 2 more blog posts on various aspects of soil. So if that's something that interests you, stay on the lookout for it. And then I just have time to go over 1 more, but I'll say this one is one of my favorites that I posted recently because I actually have a fear of scorpions that goes back to my days visiting my grandparents as a little kid in Arizona and finding them in my bed, or under my bed, I should say. So I did this more for fun for me, but I think many people are afraid of scorpions. And since we sell a lot of properties, and I know there are a lot of sales going on in the Southwest where there are a lot of scorpions, it's an important topic. So if you're afraid of scorpions and you want to know how to get them out of your home, you should check out this blog post. And all right, I'll just take one more minute to cover this last one because I also like this blog post. I liked a lot of the blog posts I did this week, but this one is on coal ash. It's a little bit of a tangent, but I think it's important because any kind of environmental pollutant is going to affect landowners. it affects everyone. But if you're buying land, environmental pollution is one of the big issues you will often find, even when you're buying rural land. And coal ash is one of those pollutants that we don't often think too much about, but is a big issue in the US. It's basically coal ash is one of the byproducts of coal power plants or any machinery that is powered by coal. And fortunately, we do have ways to dispose of coal that doesn't pollute the environment, but it has historically polluted areas of the US. The EPA has maps that you can go to check where are vulnerable communities. But it may be worth a read because this is one of those things that, depending on where you're buying land, so say if you were in an area that did have a lot of coal power plants, either currently still has a coal power plant or in the past had a coal power plant, coal ash may be a concern, especially if you're going to build on the property and live on it or use the soil for farming and homesteading. That was another blog post. Right, so look out. This week I'm going to have more blog posts. Like I said, there should be 2 on soil. I'm also going to be posting a new Gokche Knowledge video very soon, hopefully tomorrow, but it may be Tuesday, so early next week. And it'll be on 10 ways you can make money from vacant land. So I think that should be interesting for many of you, especially if you're looking to purchase land as an investment. So keep an eye out for that. And we are now at 6:22, which means it is time for the main event, the free land giveaway. And I'm going to cover some of the terms of the free land giveaway right now, just so we're all on the same page. But if you have any questions, let me know. I still have a few minutes. I can answer a few questions. And so I do want to say up front that with the free vacation giveaway, sorry, I think I said free land giveaway. I'm so used to going over that. With the free vacation giveaway, we are offering a voucher that's valid for most locations. It's a 3-night stay. In some, though, it's 4. But it's a 3 or 4-night stay in most of them are luxury hotels in one of many locations around the world. So there are over 30 locations in the US and then I think over 50 total, so a number of global locations as well. The hotel stay is complimentary, but I'll note that you do have to pay the taxes associated with the hotel room. And the reason our partner does this is because many of you probably heard this spiel, so bear with me, but apparently the IRS, if they were not to charge the taxes, so it was completely free for you, the IRS would consider that income to you or a gift to you, and they would set that income at the value of the hotel stay, so that's around $1,000. So you would be taxed at your normal income tax rate for $1,000, and in most circumstances, that's going to be a fair amount higher than if you just paid the normal taxes associated with the hotel room. So that's why they have you pay the taxes. The way it works is, if you win, we'll send you a list of all the locations. You do have to select your location up front. You're not selecting the hotel up front, just where you want to go. And then when you redeem the voucher, you'll see there'll be a bunch of hotels you can choose from. So you'll select the location, and then I'll send you the voucher. Once you're given the voucher, you have 7 days to redeem the voucher and pay the taxes. Once you do that, though, then you have 18 months to decide when you want to go and to book your hotel. The voucher is for 1 or 2 people, although there are going to be some hotels that will allow 2 children. You'll just have less hotels to choose from. So a family vacation is still an option. You are only allowed to redeem a voucher once every 12 months. So just a disclosure here, don't try to keep winning multiple vacation vouchers so you can go on a vacation every month. You can, though, give it to a friend or family member so long as they didn't redeem one with you in the past. And they also have to be the ones who go. You can't, try to say I'm putting it in someone else's name and then go yourself, because they do have the right to rescind the voucher if they find that you're, trying to game the system. And I think there was one other important piece of information, I suppose. Oh, yes. In terms of availability, they do have a wide range of available dates, but you're going to see limited availability during big holidays, and there may also be a little bit of a surcharge for weekends, so keep that in mind. So those are the terms. Now, for everyone who's interested, just say yes in the chat, and then you'll be assigned a number based on which order you said yes. So the first person to say yes is 1, second is 2, so on and so on. And then I will randomly select a number, and the person who is associated with that number will be the winner. I'll give everyone a second to say yes. Oh, one other thing I'll note is if for whatever reason, if you don't want to pay the taxes, so you're not interested in the vacation voucher, we can provide a hotel, or you won a vacation voucher in the past. We can provide a hotel savings card, so that gives you a discount on certain hotels. All right, so we'll wait a few more minutes. And while I'm waiting, oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention about what we've been working on this past week. My partner and I have been diving pretty heavily into learning video editing, so we're working hard to try and improve the quality of our videos. Hopefully you'll see that, but let me know what you think. Oh, Buck, oh, I'm sorry you're so busy, but thank you for your honesty. Hopefully you can join a future live stream when you're less busy and get a voucher then. All right, so I'm going to wait 20 more seconds to make sure everyone who wants to participate has said yes. Okay. All right, so it looks like we have 7 participants. It means the odds are good for all of you. Okay. So, drum roll. We'll have Google, and Google picked 3. So that would be Giselle. You are this week's winner. Congratulations. And if you are interested in getting your voucher, simply send me an email. My contact information is on the website if you don't have it already, but I'll put it in the chat. So just send me an email and I'll send you that list of locations. And then once you select your location, I'll send you the voucher. And thank you to everyone else for joining. I hope you all have had a wonderful Mother's Day. I hope all the mothers out there are getting the pampering and the love they deserve. And I do hope to see you all here next week,